It's pain, and we want it to stop. You've probably got pain. Actually, I think if you're alive, you probably have pain. It's just part of being human, isn't it? And it's the extremity of the pain that we sort of focus on. It could be like a physical pain, like you've stubbed your toe or stomach ulcer or something really painful, physically painful to you, or it could be emotional pain. Recently, I have learned something quite interesting about pain, and it came about because for about the last year, where I was living, about a year ago, I was told that the property where I was renting from and I'd worked on for many, many years, they owners had decided to sell, and this caused quite a bit of shock to me because it put where I was going to live and work in jeopardy. And sort of soon afterwards, I noticed my back was getting sore, sort of the lower back area. And I went to the physiotherapist, got exercises. She helped me quite a bit. I was taking panadol at night, and but I never linked it to the situation of stress that I was actually physically under. And anyway, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I learned that the property had been sold. And after I got over my a little bit of upset, I started to look at it kind of differently. And I started to see that actually um, there were some interesting things. First of all, I no longer had to keep the place looking like something from Home and Garden magazine. So that was a huge stress off me. And I'd been having to do that for quite a while. I no longer had to take the responsibility of security and just generally looking after the place and making it look good for real estate agents and for people to come and view. So that was another pressure off me that I didn't have to carry that anymore. The owners had gone um, 5, 6, 7, 8 months ago, and I'd been there by myself. So I knew that I no longer had, I wouldn't be in this position for much longer. And the third thing is I had some clarity about my future that, okay, there is an end date, I have to be out of here. And so it gave me some certainty where there were a lot of uncertainties. And it's interesting, my back almost immediately got better. And I was sort of like, huh, my back's better? That's interesting. And even my physiotherapist, she said, "Oh, your muscles have all loosened up." And we talked about how stress can sort of accumulate in certain parts of the body. And for me, it was my lower back, and apparently it's quite common. Well, since then, I have shifted into a new home, which I think is actually even better than where I was before. It's really close to the beach. It's like the beach is just 30 seconds walk away from where I am now. It's a lovely, quite a new looking sort of a house, in a place where, it's just, I just thank God. It's quite amazing. And it's a place where I think my muscles will relax even more. And I may well feel more creative and be able to express myself and learn lots of new things and share things with you. And look, but my work is not completely sorted out yet. Hopefully, I'll pick up a few more clients, and that side of things will sort itself out. But I'm trusting in God to help me with that. But uh, we simply want the pain to stop, don't we? When we're in pain. And I'd like to know, what is the pain that you want to stop? Now, often when it's like a very physical nature, like as in myself, my back pain, I wanted that to stop. Such as stomach ulcers and headaches, we want that to stop. Um, or maybe just for me, it was actually a psychological stress issue that was affecting and causing me pain. Pains are complicated issues. But what about the other pains that we feel? The pain that we might have from loneliness, or loss, or abuse, or rejection, unforgiveness, guilt, shame, false accusations. just carrying hurt. That's pain. It's called pain. And you could add probably thousands more words to that would describe some of the pain that you're carrying and that you may well want to stop. And um, it's pain and it is finite. Okay, it won't go on forever and ever. But it's what we do with the pain here and now that actually affects a lot of how we live life. And this topic has actually come out from a question that I sent out to my email list people about questions about suicide. And it got me thinking that people who are suicidal don't want to die. They just want the pain to stop. Think about that clearly. They don't want to die, but they do want the pain to stop. And they think that the only way that the pain will stop is to die. And I would say actually the pain goes on and transmits to other people and hurts other people. And we need to think about that. But when someone is that low in suicide, suicidal thinking, they don't think about that. But to understand you and your pain, I've got some questions that might help. Where is your pain? So, is it an emotional thing? Is it a physical pain? Can you describe your pain? Is it an emotional pain, a spiritual pain, something pain about God? Physical pain, is it something that actually is directly related to the body? What makes the pain worse? What makes the pain better? What are the pain areas in your life at this moment? Not the past, but at this moment. Uh, what's your pain story? And what I'm talking about here is if you were to like write out your story of your life, what are the pain moments that you have been through? And minor little hurts, major hurts. What's happened in your life? And later on, there's a question in the blog post where I say, and what have you learned from those things? How have you processed those pains? What strategies or techniques do you use to manage your pain? Are they helpful or harmful? Now, some techniques or coping strategies may not be that helpful, such as alcohol, drugs, shopping, all sorts of things. They in the long term will not help. But what are helpful things that you do to cope with your pain? And what's your pain track? Where do you go in your thinking when you feel pain? It, one of the things that can become like a very old and familiar and deeply rooted thinking track in the brain. When I feel pain, I do this. And a little acronym that might help you is E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. When such and such an event happens, my immediate response is this, and this is always the outcome. Someone looks at me kind of strange, okay, that's the event, and I always respond by thinking I've done something wrong again, and I always feel this pain of being dumb. All right? And having this little chain of thinking repeated thousands and thousands and thousands of times over and over again in your heart and your brain actually hardwires it so much so that you believe that is true when it's not. And look, and if you want to change the outcome, you actually have to change how you respond to the event that happened. All right? You have to change the response to the event that happened if you want to change your outcome. And there's a little saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And so often is that we need to look at, hold on, we need to change our hardwiring in our brain. And that's actually not that hard. There's lots of posts that I've written about brain changing and thinking compasses and changing the way you look at life and things. But one of the things that I've found to help with people in their pain is to listen for the pain. It seems to help. To have someone that is gently curious about the pain in your life, whether it be emotional, spiritual, physical, it seems to help. Now, not that listening can take it away, but perhaps can enter into the dark nights of the soul that you're in and offer a kind of a little flickering candle, and perhaps a little bit of ancient days of wisdom. Ancient days of wisdom can teardrop into your places of pain. I think it helps to be heard. What doesn't help is for you to be made into a project and that made into something that is to be fixed, advised, saved, or set straight. And all of those things kind of dehumanize you as a person into being simply a problem to be solved. That there's no human to human, soul to soul connection. When I think everyone actually, what they really want is to be known, loved, and held. And look, dark nights can seem an eternity long for those in deep depression. I've been there, and it can seem just like a consuming black hole. It's unknown when it begins, and it seems like it's never ending in its destination. A little light in the tunnel might well be a train coming at full speed at you. So what I encourage is that we step lightly, that we move with millimeters. We don't want to rush. We want to make sure that our thinking is changed millimeter by millimeter. We identify the places of pain and we listen to them. I wonder if you have places of pain that need to be heard. Hey, if you want to send me an email, love to hear from you. It's barry@turningthepage.co.nz. And if you look in the show notes below, you'll find a link to this page. And just love to hear from you how you've responded to this story, this pain, this post about simply wanting the pain to stop. Till next time, bye.